Without any break at all. The pizza was delicious, by the way.
It was quite a ride. I missed the pizza, but I'm excited for this game. Who have we got then? FaZe Na'Vi.
FaZe Na'Vi. More important for Na'Vi than for FaZe. FaZe sitting at 0-2-1, so one draw, which ultimately is going to haunt them. They should have closed out that last game against MIBR. The comeback pretty much makes it almost nearly impossible for them to make the playoffs. They can maximize 7 points in total. There's already Astralis on 9 secure at this point in time, and 2 teams on 6. So if they get 1 point, either of those teams, there's no chance FaZe makes it through. Na'Vi is one of those teams.
Well, here we go. Guardian's going to kick things off, but Electronic is there to fight back, and an emphatic style. He'll get 2 headshots at the USP. It looks like Na'Vi might have this one, but Olof might see what's going to say about that. It's a real brawl here, and Olof can just get the bomb down at this point.
He's got it down. Put some money in the bank. Laughing all the way to the bank. Not quite. He's actually going to be carried in a hearse. But it's going to be the defuse, and it's going to be the win into Na'Vi, which is what we talked about. This is their game to lose, ultimately, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And I think that's yesterday, even though they were 1-1 and Cloud9 were 2-0, it was pretty obvious that Cloud9 were having a ridiculously overachieving day, if you want to call it that. That had to run out, and the fact that Astralis already played Na'Vi, they had a great, today's a great schedule for them.
I guess one thing we can think about, FaZe can still get 3rd place and be the team that challenges for the 20K
Absolutely.
the Blast show match, right?
Yep. And Cloud9 and Na'Vi, all 3 of those teams still have a chance in there mathematically. It's just that it's between Cloud and Na'Vi.
Yes. Well, there we go. Okay. Well, I've calmed down now.
How do you?
I've just got to catch my breath. Na'Vi do win the round, but you can see FaZe have force ball in the second. It's going to be all sorts of stuff going on here. AK-47s and a Galil available as well. You can see, and will be now the first kill coming in for Rain as he takes down Zeus. It's going to be an actual very heavy commitment there on the T side.
Wow, very heavy commitment toward Edward on the AUG as well. The fact that the nade started it off, this bomb plant giving them 2 AKs, this is a massive task for Na'Vi to try and sneak back in. I thought Simple was going to go straight through it. Instead, tries to spray into the default. Does actually dink Olaf from range on that UMP, but Olaf with the AK finds the headshot instead. We're going to go 1-1. Excitement.
Force buys sometimes work out, it seems. A very heavy commitment, and you have to assume that FaZe, they'll just be playing similar to what MIBR have been doing this tournament. You know what? This hasn't been working so far this tournament. Let's just play a little bit looser. Let's stay as a pack. We've got some of the best aimers in the game right now. Let's just go into brute force instead of trying to be slow and methodical with all the strategies. We'll do whatever we can. And it seems to be working till that second round. Straight in towards B. You can see Olof Meister and Rain dinked up in the process. But it is a successful second round. They'll be picking that up, no problem. Na'Vi will save an AUG and a UMP by the looks of things. And a bit of a kit as well. So presumably going to force buy back in themselves. They can't afford to buy next round, even with the $1,900. So I assume they'll bring out Deagles, armor, CZs perhaps. We'll see which way they're inclined. There's a CZ and the armor. So we're off. There we go. Lovely stuff.
It is indeed. Hamster Master 5, that's not an eco, that's a force buy, son. Learn your Counter-Strike. But this is another force buy, and rightfully so. We talked about this new system, this new money system does mean that you can actually be aggressive and try and break down the other team quite early on, and we saw this back and forth affair yesterday as well in a few different games. We'll get it again now with Simple on a scout looking for the headshot toward Olaf. Has to be careful not to overcommit because Guardian is already close, so if he went for the wide peek onto Olaf, he would be susceptible to the second AK, but he's backed off wisely at this point in time.
This is a very tense round here. You can see Nico committing towards B there with Olof Meister. They're using the buddy system, which I appreciate. You don't want to be walking into these sort of choke points by yourself. Olof watching the smoke for anyone pushing through, but it's Edward above the smoke here in CT spawn. Not going to be checked out. That's not necessarily a problem because Nico's already snuck across and he actually might have an advantage here. The Shadow's there, and that's going to give it away. You can see lovely work there from Nico. Shadows are a massive part of CSGO, maybe a bit of a controversial talking point considering you can't see your own. It does kind of confuse players sometimes as to why you die. Probably where most of the cheating accusations come from in matchmaking, I'd imagine, to be honest. But there we go. It's going to be a 5-on-3 and Simple Electronic Flamey. No choice but to save your weapons. It might seem realistic. Oh, you've got 3 alive. You can take them down, but not on the B-bomb side of Inferno. Not going to be possible, I'm afraid. Hold on to what you got, which isn't a lot, but they've got an AUG. Electronic definitely had an amazing year, I would say, in terms of getting on everyone's radar, becoming a household name. Known to want to keep up with Simple. I think he's done that in some tournaments, not so much in others.
Flamey does find Guardian. Flamey's vow to be better is the key. You know what? I'm going to say it. If Liquid are going to make changes, if MIBR are going to make changes, if FaZe are going to make changes, it's Na'Vi and Astralis 1-2 going into the major.
That lovely interview you referenced, I did ask Stewie, I said, it's obvious no one can actually reach the level Astralis are right now. Do you feel like every team at this point has to make changes to top 5? And it seems like it's a resounding yes. You think about all the speculation we've heard, every team is considering it. No one's happy with 2nd and 3rd place anymore.
I agree with that, and I think Liquid's case, they're not happy because they haven't won a big event this year, right? And I don't think that it's Liquid wanting to change as much as it is Taco wanting to go back to the tantalizing prospect of being on an all-Portuguese lineup, right? So it's more that they're luring him away rather than Liquid forcing him out, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But my point is, and I agree with Jason's sentiment in his tweet, that roster changes alone aren't going to catch Astralis. Someone's got to sit down and do the dirty work.
It's 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Essentially, it's going to take you, what, 3-4 months to even get to a competitive level?
I would, well, so I'll say it the other way. I think it's 1 step backwards in the immediate and maybe 2 steps forward down the line. The problem is that the immediate entails a major.
Sure.
So you've got one event, the iBuyPower Masters, which Astralis are now announced for. We're talking over this round for obvious reasons. There's not a lot of guns on the table. Did get 2 kills. You got iBuyPower Masters in there, which Astralis, I presume, signed up for strictly to be a bit of a boot camp for the major.
Yes.
But there's nothing else for these top teams to really play in that time. So how they plan to make miraculous strides between now and the middle to end of February, I don't know.
This state of flux we're in right now is CSGO. I think it just goes to show things have to change. The landscape of our tournament structure, having a tournament every week, the major system the way it is, there doesn't seem to be a viable window right now to make a sensible roster change. If you make any change, Matt, there's either a massive tournament the next week or a major around the corner. When are you supposed to make roster changes? There's no good time, to be fair. I feel like we need a bit more structure and like a window perhaps. We have to play a break right now, but the player break last year went straight into a major. So it's just like we need to kind of work out where we're going with this. It is a bit of an issue right now. The players are getting burnt out. The quality of the strategies are certainly dropping off. And I don't have the solution. I'm just complaining for no real reason here, really, but it's just an observation.
Well, back to the gun rounds. We'll start talking about the game. If you can't deduce 1-on-1 together, Sasha, without us telling you, you've got problems of your own. So we'll help you out this time. Og for Electronic. Zeus has one as well. There's going to be one on the other side as Kerrigan's picked that up and brought it over. So 3 scoped weapons that are not AWPs, and then only one of those. That's in the hands of Guardian on the T side.
It's FaZe so far, taking the lion's share, 3-1. See, there are no kits available and barely any utility on the CT side. They've got 3 flashbangs and 1 smoke at this point. It's going to be a contact play from FaZe. It's the kind of plays I want to see from them. Just using that brute force. You've got the best aimers in the game on this team. Let's start using them. Simple, one of those as well. We'll get the first in the boosted position, but it's Zeus! My goodness! He strikes with the AUG and gets 3 of them there and leaves it down to the 4 versus 1. Now, this is a classic Kerrigan play. He was looking for the backstab, show a little bit of presence, get towards CD spawn, but if his teammates drop like that, it looks very silly. It doesn't look like he's actually part of the formation whatsoever, but I don't think that was a big deal. Zeus, great job with the AUG, pushing the smoke, getting it done.
Yeah, Zeus has looked a lot better lately. I don't know if it's the AUG that he's at. I'd have to look at stats on guns, but I do notice when he has it, he seems to find multiple kills. That's
the interesting thing. Kerrigan said he feels like he's playing a lot better since he picked up the AUG.
Yeah, I think there's a stat review to be done, Peter, from HLCV, if you wouldn't mind, about players who have transferred onto that weapon or perhaps have used it sporadically. And yeah, exactly. Before and after.
Showing their stats before they start using AUG.
Challenge.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be perfect. Just to see whether there is some sort of science behind it or we're just going a little bit mad. It could be either, to be honest.
I think Elijah's prime candidate.
But the thing is, it's difficult to see his improvement because he was already so good already. I'm more interested in players like Zeus and Kerrigan who were struggling this year. When they picked that weapon up, was there an actual dramatic increase? Maybe not dramatic. Was there an upward trajectory, perhaps? That's what I would love to know. If I had time to do it myself, I wouldn't do it.
So I was just going to say, if Zeus could pick it up as well for the major, and Navi's going to be in perhaps the best shape of all the teams to challenge Astralis, that's perfect.
Wow. Na'Vi. You called it. It's going to be a Astralis Na'Vi final thing there.
I think so, yeah. I think that's the way it's going to be. I mean, like I say, FaZe can spoil that. Cloud9, they're still sitting on 6 points. They may have lost the head-to-head to Na'Vi, but if Na'Vi don't close out the day the way that I think they should, then, yeah, there's no guarantee. But I'm predicting that's going to be the case.
Well, like you said, 3rd place, still a lot of money on the line. If you just get to 3rd place and you can win it, you get to challenge a team beneath you and go for the 20K in an aim map duel, which doesn't sound that tantalizing. It's actually pretty cool to watch, so definitely stick around for that. Either way, this round is underway. It's number 6 here, FaZe still on the T side, of course, with the lead, and Rain taking one of those audacious duels we talked about. It's Zeus once again with that AUG to take him down. I'm going to find ourselves in a 5-on-4. Zeus smoked off, but still ready to fight.
Kerrigan waiting to work out from the apartment. Zeus looking to get back inside of the smoke. Nico's on one side of his bullets. Guardian on the other. Can't find either. It's Electronic that'll get Kerrigan instead, though, to start it off. And Flamey found going to the cubby. Knows. Oh, I'm so surprised by that. Nico should have been able to spot the fact that he was crouch walking left, or from his perspective, right to left. He's already been tagged, had to be in the cubby, and he checks to Arch, perhaps thinking maybe he would get a chance to peek him after he cleared the corner, but gets caught out for it.
You have to remember, this has been a nightmare tournament for FaZe. Sure,
Yeah,
they've got a
definitely.
draw against MIBR. That's with
That should have
Swag
been
standing.
closed out.
That's Swag standing in, man. This is FaZe. I considered this is one of the most expensive CSGO or Counter-Strike roster ever assembled, and they've been together a while now. Sure, they've had their issues with kind of swapping things around on all of Meister and stuff like that, but they've been stable for a couple of months now. This is just not acceptable in terms of the level they're presenting, right? Something's obviously not quite right in the camp. The results they're getting here is just not good enough.
I think there's some sort of if the rumors are true that Kerrigan's not accomplishing the task, I think that there might be some sort of butting of heads where it's almost a 4-on-1 mutiny going on, and it might just be the fact that no one's really communicating as a result of it.
When you've lost faith in your in-game leader completely, and then you've kind of removed him from the one role he was brought in to do, you're going to be resentful to begin with, right? Like, even if you are like the most humble human in the world, you're still like, well, you're just saying I'm bad at my job and I'm not doing it anymore. Yep. It's going to cause interpersonal
the
drama.
Essex wouldn't have ran into Moby Dick if Chase wasn't fighting Pollard, okay? So, yes, literary references, Henry, it's fine. We'll be okay. I know it almost kills you to go back to school every now and then.
Exactly. But I don't know. I feel like everyone knows that at this point, this team surely won't be the same after the major release. Like the way things have gone, you do not want Nico as your in-game leader. Sure, it's not like he can't do it, but you don't want him on that role. He's considered just a star. As we'll see this difficult situation here from FaZe. They are going to be taken down. That's going to be the first kill in favor of Edward. You can see they've got the AWP, and Guardian was playing absolute lights out Counter-Strike earlier on Mirage. Can he replicate that right now? Getting boosted by the quad at this point, looking towards the broken wall, seeing if there's anything available to him. Spots a jump on the bike, but his teammates are dropping around him.
Guardian, oh my, nearly got taken down. The dink came on the other side. Guardian was so close to it. That one certainly came straight toward him. Electronic sliding out with the AUG. He's gotten Guardian figured out. Rain's going to pick up the AWP in response, but backing away is FaZe already. Shot toward the castle wall.
Yeah, Electronic there.
Tagged him down to 59, did he really?
Yeah.
But they're going to try and, I think, just hold this off. 18 seconds might just be a save call at this point in time. Swap the guns around. Olaf's got more HP because that way he can save the op without fighting. Okay, Rain's, I'm 19 HP. He wants to go. I don't know what the point
I guess he wants
is.
the cash. In terms of loss bonus, what are they at now? They're going to be at third stage, and he's got 4,600 residual. Oh no, that's what he's got now.
That's with it, yeah. So he can still buy, and they have the op. So he's not.
It's not the end of the world.
But third stage, 24. What am I saying? Yeah. Okay. You
still had more kit on him.
Exactly. He still had more kit, and maybe he was looking for information so Olaf could save it. But why just sacrifice yourself like that?
Yeah, a little bit odd, but. It's the way she goes sometimes. It's Flamey. Another, I guess, controversial player at this point, considered one of the absolute best CIS players in 2016, 2017. This hasn't been his year. And he even tweeted out the other day saying he wants to prove he's still up there. To be fair, I think this tournament he has. I've actually been pretty surprised of how good he's played, and he's looking poised and confident of his aim. It's good to see. And another man who's guilty of that as well is going to be Simple, of course, as he holds the AWP straight towards middle. And there's an AWP on the T side. That's in the hands of Guardian. Remember, they did have cash. It wasn't a force buy previous. So 4-3 Na'Vi at this stage. As we go into round number 8, we'll see if FaZe can start to get rolling here after winning the pistol. It's Na'Vi that have run away with it. Well, actually, they won the second round force buy, I should say, not the pistol.
Olaf. Support nade thrown. He's going to go right side arch as we go down to the bottom of T stairs to look through the walls at X-rays. Rain. Desperate. Pick can't find it. Electronic again on the AUG's going to win it out. Only tagged down at 93 after all of that with Rain as well. You would have expected something to come from that.
Well, Guardian's found at least a pick on Electronic. It's now the 4 versus 3, and the A site's open. Only Flamey can stop the Guardian Guardian? What are they up to? Why are they just walking backwards into library? I can't even explain that one. I can't even give the benefit of the doubt. I don't know what the purpose of walking backwards there was. They assumed it was clear?
This is a shutdown.
That's the bomb gone now.
I'm going to speculate a little bit, but if FaZe are waiting to make changes, if that rumor's true, or if they're just burnt out and waiting, which surprises me because they played the least amount of events of anyone here, really. Dead inside of the smoke. Kerrigan drops bomb. It's round over. This is already Zeus and Flamey winning it out again, and Flamey on the rotation to find the kills in doing so.
Like,
just to finish, Wayne Gretzky once said, if you're not having fun, a 10-foot pass is hard.
Yep.
And if they're just literally biding time at this point, their thought process isn't there. You can see it. It's not even that the team's infighting, it's that individually they look like they're just waiting.
That was just such a weird moment there. So I assume he got the call from his teammate, library's clear. But still, walking in backwards like that when the rotations are that kill there, why even challenge that position? I just don't get it. But Olaf Meister tries to bring it back. As we mentioned, 10 seconds of the clock, bomb was already down. That's a moment where you've got a clear site. You've got called library's clear. You don't go in the library with the bomb.
You can stand in the corner.
You run off to the bomb site and get it down. That's the only real option there, but that was bizarre. Either way, 5-3, and FaZe will have the AWP. Save from previous round, Olaf Meister got no money. And this is starting to fall apart as the nade will do a lot of damage. If Edward deploys that right now, he's going to do collateral damage like 3 players here. He opts to maybe just bounce it in when they commit. He senses them on the other side perhaps, and Zeus has been great with the Orc so far. Let's see if he can start lighting them up once again. And they have not got any armor, and in they come. A little jump across, perhaps, just to bait out his aim. Not really the case.
Didn't work at all because Zeus backed off of it. Edward's still orange 2, by the way. Just to make this work, I would say that. He doesn't get anything for it, but Zeus does take the bait to get back in and finds both Rain and Guardian. Nade goes off to Ruins, and Olaf off, perfectly positioned to catch out Simple. This is decent. Bomb going down. Olaf, how does he find that? Falling off the ledge, through the coffin, finds Zeus's head. And it's a bomb down, but FaZe on low HP. Kerrigan and Olaf combined for 60, split the middle between the two, and it's 100 for both Electronic and Flamey. But Electronic found by Olaf yet again, going aggressive. He's got 4 kills in this round. He could find an ace. The AWP doing all of the work so far, and he is the one looking towards CT as well. Didn't quite go far enough to spot the 5th, and I don't think the ace will happen because Flamey's going to try and run and head for the hills.
What a shot from Olaf. Zeus had done enough there. He played that perfectly as well. He got the 2 frags. Edward, that was caught with his nades out, unluckily for him. But then Zeus lights 2 of them up, drops the incendiary to deny the plant for 6 seconds there. He gets the perfect play to come deny the bomb going down, but then I need to see that from Olaf's POV. How he hits that shot, it must have been a quick scope because there was no way he hit that. It was like in a way he was ready for it. It looked absolutely unbelievable. But that was 4 deagles, no armor, and an AWP, and it works out. And you expect nothing less from the boys in FaZe, and he's all off. And this was the kill I was interested to see. It was a scoped shot, but still amazing.
How does he miss his teammate's head in that?
Wow. Very cool stuff.
Grazed the hairs off the back of his neck. Well, 1 round between them again. Na'Vi still in the lead on the CT side. The prediction on the desk, I think you said it as well for MIBR, is... What was it? Maybe FaZe you were speaking of. I caught it as I was taking my in-ear out. You said that was they're not out, so that
MIBR Astralis is my prediction. So for me, it was just play very loose style CS, and I try and present the unexpected.
I think you said with FaZe maybe being out of this, they might go down a gear. Well,
exactly. I did say that. Yeah.
Maybe they might go the opposite direction. Simple. But then he's just sitting in the doorway to get taken out by too much utility and a teammate that was behind him. No way to retreat. Kerrigan with 2. Then it responds again. Okay, Nico burns Edward alive after the round, but Edward and Flamey find the kills beforehand?
Flamey actually spotted him in a graveyard before, turned around, then received fire in the back, 180s and finds him. That's the Flamey we know and love, and we expect at this level of competition. And finally, he's showing us some of that because he's been so quiet this year, but that's much more like. You see the smile on his face as well as enjoying himself. He knows that's the way he should be playing as he gets himself with the 7 frags. Great stuff there, 6-4 as FaZe managed to win the eco. They come crashing back down to earth at the reset here. They've got 2 players that can buy. Maybe at this point, as we mentioned, they know they are technically, quote-unquote, out of the tournament. I think there might be a mathematical way they could somehow pull it off, I don't know. But they're going to force buy here and see what they can do. You've got Guardian and Carrigan and AKs, a MAC-10. CZ's trying to break so. We mentioned this time yesterday. If you can reset and return, you're right back in the half, but this could cost you everything. If this round goes completely wrong, all 5 players go down. If you're down 7-4, could be a double eco situation as well. We'll see what happens as we enter round number 11. FaZe really not looking their usual selves. This is not a team that's exciting me right now. This is not like, wow, look at this on paper. This should be unbelievable. Right now, it's just like, let's just get through it, boys, shall we? That's pretty much what I've seen from them this tournament. Let's just get through it. See what we can do.
So 3 inside of the apartments will lead the charge toward the A side of the map. They've got a 4th one that's jumping actually in through boiler as well. MAC-10 CZ, Deagle. Those are the hindered.
It's a dirty one. Nico's is pretty good as they come out of the apartments. Electronic, though, has been famed playing this pit position. He's got Flamey to back him up as well. Not really breaking a sweat here as the bomb goes down. There's going to be an HE to follow it up, which should do a ton of damage, and it does. It's going to be all off Meister with the MAC-10, desperately trying to find kills. Does some damage. Can they do anything with this round? I'm not sure.
Flamey gets one back. Olaf has to fall off of it and couldn't get around the corner in time. So it's Guardian left against 3, and Edward already holding off this side of the map with low HP on Guardian. Pretty straightforward for Edward. The Og showing great form throughout pretty much all of this CT side. I won't say kill every round with it, but it's been contributing in, I'm going to say 8 out of 12. Just random number. Peter from HLTV, double check it. 7-4. Na'Vi. Simple with an AK on the CT side. Perhaps reason enough to stay on it rather than try to bring out an AWP and get it over to his hands. Actually, I take that back. I don't know if there was enough money for anyone on the team to buy the AWP this time either way. They're up against pistols, so they can farm the cash. Simple with the AK, gets the headshot, sprays it, finds 2, runs out of ammo, has to go to the pistol. That'll give him a 3rd, and then his teammates show up. Someone please grab that AK, and they will. Electronic has it to carry it back, or excuse me, Zeus has it to carry it back over.
It's a quick one.
Yeah, we like him that way.
Yeah, just get it done.
I'm sick. I like it quick.
Let's rush B and get mowed down. Why not? Can't do much of it anyway. Might as well see if we can get some trades. They got 1 kill. It's enough. Guardian T-side AWP. 4 and 10 right now. And we've discussed this, maybe not this segment of the year, but at the beginning we were definitely saying Guardian is one of the few AWPers that can really stand out on the T-side of Inferno, right? He has something about him, a certain je ne sais quoi, that we can't really describe. It makes him look very, very agile on the T-side of Inferno. We'll see if he can present that today.
Guardian was posted there with the AWP, and they took a risk of running and jumping across middle. But Flamey, he's the one that did it, and that's why he does it. He goes toward Boiler and finds 2 kills. Simple flashed. Down goes Olaf. You gotta love it when Simple just hits everything like that.
Yeah. When he's in the zone, it's difficult to get him out of it. And Flamey peeking second middle with an M4. That should not yield 2 frags. I assume he got a flash from his teammate, which would have been excellent, but 2 kills? I have to see it from his POV.
Edge of the smoke. Just clipping through is the shin bone of Nico, and that's enough to take him down. Guardian just missing. Ooh, hit that time. Like Electronic, Simple follows up and finds his 3rd in the round. We go 9-4.
Well then, FaZe, your money's broken. It's round 14. He force-bought a lot to no avail. Olaf Meister 10 frags. He had that one excellent round with the AWP, but that's pretty much as exciting as this got. They won the second round force buy. So Flamey, this is great aim, but that should not really be possible. That nade should be going in there at the start like an HE. You should have someone posted on bridge ready for that sort of play. Yes, it's great from him, but they look too comfortable here. I would say it's great. It's refreshing to see Na'Vi look so good here. I remember they are the reigning champs of Blast Pro season at the moment. As Simple does miss a shot this time. He is human after all, and Flamey has to pick up the pieces, but can't do it. This could fall apart now, and they have got armor, but it doesn't seem to stop Electronic. 3 kills for him, as he does a great job to bring this back in contention for Na'Vi. 2-on-2, Edward and Zeus to try and save the day. Keep your gun out, Zeus. He jumped around the corner with a knife, and now it's surely advantage FaZe.
You'd think that, wouldn't you? Edward's going to swing down toward the top side of mid once more with the AUG. Carrigan waiting inside of the site with the bomb ticking. And Edward has a kit, has a Molotov, has a smoke as well if he can get it on top of the bomb, but he's got to worry about Carrigan being directly above him in the corner. Smokes off pit, wants to flash it as well. That might allow him to isolate left side, but little does he know both are there, and both certainly ready. Perhaps seeing the head of Guardian inside of the site was enough to deter him from thinking the second was in the corner, because he didn't even really peek that with his crosshair.
Well, there we go. Rush middle with the pistols works out quite nicely. Simple, a little bit too aggressive there at the start and missed a couple of shots at the AWP, and that's always going to be the case. That's why we call it the glass cannon sometimes. As soon as one thing goes wrong with it, it can all fall apart. And it's round 15 here, 9-5. FaZe looking to disallow double digits from Na'Vi here. We'll see if that's possible. Guardian back on the AWP, like we said, looked fantastic earlier on Mirage. Some vintage performances from him. We'll see if they can pick up this last round. 9-6 isn't the worst half. It's not so much the scoreline I'm worried about. It's just that the level of play from FaZe is not exciting me, I think, is the headline I'm trying to send home at this point.
Yeah, I we expected at the start of this year. The joke at the start of the year was that they couldn't win finals. Now they just can't win. Electronic takes down Rain. Guardian around toward the arch side will actually push through his own smoke with an AWP. Peculiar, but perhaps unorthodox enough to make it work. No one there, so it didn't really matter in that theory. Bomb still waits topside mid as well. And they've got Banana, they've got CT. If they want to push all the way around, it's going to be a 2-2, but they need to find a pick to confirm the bomb's rotation. It'll just stay safe for now. They found a pick quickly enough. You can almost lurk the bomb, risky as that sounds.
Great positioning from Edward here, but it is a common spot. He is playing at a slight off angle, not tucking himself into the corner, but Guardian, very good in these sort of scenarios. You can imagine he's going to be ready for this.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I don't like that he did look at Guardian, goes down, however, Edward was there. I was going to say, I didn't like that he stopped to check behind him that quickly. He needed to clear ruins, so it was good to see him continue forward, but won't matter. Bomb's going to go back A this time. Electronic should have heard this already.
Yeah, it's done.
So he's waiting with the Og boiler door. You say done, but you're right, they go the other direction. And if he gets a little anticipated here, over-anticipated, and steps out, he could still give that up. He finds it, Simple does too, 10-5 Na'Vi CT side.
Na'Vi looking to book themselves a place in the grand finals, certainly doing a convincing case of it so far. 10 rounds on the CT side to pick up the pistol. I'm not sure FaZe will have much left in the tank. Matthew, could we get some updates on the other games?
I saw you had someone on Twitter saying that he was hoping to get updates because there's so much
Exactly.
going on.
He wants to know exactly what's going on.
That's what I thought. So 7-7 MIBR Astralis, 6-6 NIP Cloud9. It's all tied up.
Oh, wow.
Every game is a tie. The cake is a lie.
That's going to be one more round as well before the final after this, I believe. So it's all correct. Kicking off, all the Counter-Strike all day long. And we have a bit of a show match for you as well on the A maps, which is a lot of fun. So here we go. The pistol round coming in. It's going to be FaZe on the CT side. Now Carrigan on the utility style.
It's the same format again?
Yes.
One-on-one, all 5 players pick a role and then...
You got AWP, rifle, pistol,
I think it might... Oh, let's get to this.
Yes.
Nico takes out Zeus. Good shot to start it off, and he's going to try and swing out further. Carrigan finds one. Nico gets the other. Bomb goes down. Crossfire established. Smoke in place. Things looking lovely. Look at Nico go. Not quite. Rain's going to get it, but job done for him. 3 kills in the round, and then the pistol going FaZe's way to make it 10-6. I think there's one M4, one AK. AWP.
I think so. And a CZ round.
CZ and a USP.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
And the AWP. So that's always fun, especially if you're the third place team. It's like you get to choose who you want to challenge as well.
Yeah.
So let's say FaZe do get there. That's a real scary prospect. Who would you choose out of all the teams here to like consider the team that hasn't got the aim stars in them? You know.
Right now. NIP or Cloud9.
Yeah, I guess I could probably have to go Cloud9 at this point. I think they were chosen last time by Astralis.
Yeah, Refresh is a decent little fragger, though. That guy's going to have some skill to go against.
He absolutely is. He's going to be a big name next year.
And you got Automatic, who still has good individual skill. Straight mechanics for the rest of them. Flusha, not bad. Keo, pretty good aim. Yeah, that's not bad, is it? It to be NIP. Trying to rely on the old age.
Got Forrest and Rez there. I guess, yeah, between those two. Interesting conversation. I'm sure it will all pan out later. We'll find out today. Either way, full eco from Na'Vi. They are in the lead still, but lost the pistols, so they'll take an eco now and get the AKs out in the third. You can see it's normally Simple that buys a deagle, and in this round it's no different. And Flamey getting tagged up through the wooden boards there. Nico looking for the first kill. Then he'll fall back. Does a massive amount of damage there. And he knows that. It's enough. Disappointing not to get a kill, but that should secure the round in itself. Rain always going to be around this quad position, working with Guardian, who usually has the AWP. And you can see him getting aggressive because he wants to farm cash here. Yes, bit of a risk, but a calculated one. If he gets kills with his MP9, he gets an early AWP. Even if he dies, he can still buy that weapon. So he's fine to frag here at the beginning. And once it's confirmed, they're on Glocks, just to know. If they're deagle and helmets, he wouldn't be that aggressive.
Pop flash off of the circular, I don't know, storage, whatever those are.
That was perfect.
Yeah, storage, whatever they are, and to bounce out and catch them off when they enter. He didn't actually elect to throw it, he did now, but Simple was ready for it. The Eagles took it. He's got teammates in front of him. Guys, I don't have a line. If you stand in front of me, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have a line anyway.
There it is.
Got a hot line of MP9s coming his direction, so 10-7.
He buys the AWP. Those 2 kills give him an extra $1,200. Many could actually buy the AWP utility, and that's why he was aggressive. We explained that, and it works out perfectly. So this is FaZe getting back into this game now. On the CT side, certainly not done. Didn't look that exciting on the T side, but they can muster it together from this one, and that's why he brings up the AWP, because they got the MP9, a FAMAS, a UMP there as well. They need a bit more bite in round number 18. So we'll see if that's going to be working out for them, and he goes towards that underpass position, not fully committed to T-steps.
Rain takes out Electronic with an aggressive push. They're staying aggressive. The SMGs, again, it's the same thing all over, because they know that those guys can farm up cash this time, and they're in a bit of a bonus situation so long as Guardian isn't found and the AWP goes down. He'll get the AK as well. Rain's upgraded on that. Simple did everything he could to fire back, but only got one of the 2 that were aggressive. So a great start again for FaZe. You're right, they are potentially back in this just like that. Second half, everything going their way.
Yeah, it's a lovely little gambit down towards the B area. You got SMGs, you normally want to get stuck in there. And if you find 2 kills, that's absolutely excellent. Guardian not going to miss this shot. He's got a second on the plate as well, but doesn't overcommit. I respect it. Wants to make sure he stays alive, guarantees the round. A good flashbang to push the T back. Edward and Flamey now with just 1 smoke between them to try and pull back a 4-on-2. They have got time, and it's going to take something quite special here, an opening of sorts to actually get them on the map. And you can see there is a rotation from B. Nico's leaving B open, and that's a hell of a call to make. Why is he so convinced it's an A-side attack? I couldn't tell you. They haven't even got a player in transition.
Yeah, there's 4 players there. I don't know why you're that committed to it.
They'll still win the round. It's just like this could be expensive.
I think they will mostly because the bomb's not down yet. If the bomb was already down, I'd say there's a chance that they could actually slip this up. Flamey, trying to hold off rotations, needs to be well aware of the fact that they have one already inside of Ruins. He is. He rotates back. The spray through from Nico actually gives himself up, and neither of them were tagged that heavily. Well, Flamey did go down to 11 on the actual fight, which either way, Guardian has the AWP. Flamey now left alone at a pillar. Very little to work with. A single bullet will do, and FaZe find number 8.
Well, there it is. I'm not sure what call Nico got, but 3 players in a 4-on-2 towards A was more than enough. He left B completely open, and like I said, yes, they still win the round, but you keep Na'Vi alive and kicking because you've injected them an extra $800 per player, which leaves them on exactly 4K per player. This would have been a pretty much straight-up eco for them. Now they're probably going to buy a AK armor and could reset you. So that had to be more calculated there. They need to think a little smarter at that point. You don't have to play fully inside being challenged. You just need to be delaying them. You can play coffins, you can play spawn, just enough just to slow them right down, call for rotation, and make sure that bomb doesn't get planted. So good job by Na'Vi to even get a plant down there, but a bit of a slip up from FaZe to allow it to happen. They'll take a tactical time out of this one. Like I said, 4K per player, not quite on Zeus. There's enough there to justify a buy. You haven't really got them on breaking point just yet, so they might just take a more partial and conservative approach. I can see a CZ for Zeus, which suggests that's exactly what they're doing, as they are still yet to post around here in the second half. FaZe, luckily, even with the bomb down, should have a free run at this one as well.
Bit of talk over it. 10-8. Crowd here's been incredible. I really like this Lisbon place.
It's brilliant to see how passionate Counter-Strike fans are. You forget sometimes.
They seem very grateful. I mean, it's the first sort of premiere event for them. They've had MIBR here before and Hellraisers and whatnots earlier in the year, but they seem so grateful and polite and lovely and to greet us in the crowd.
One thing I love about it as well, when Guardian was against MIBR and he almost pulled off that amazing 1v4 clutch, they were like clapping for the fact he did such a good job.
That was a
like,
sick play, by the way.
Yeah, like they were respecting the fact that it was great CS being played, which was really cool to see. We're all Counter-Strike fans. We love to watch the crazy plays, even if it's not the team we're cheering
yeah,
for.
Absolutely. I saw a few Fox jerseys in the crowd as well.
Oh, it's been a while since we saw him, hasn't it? A couple of years, maybe. 1 year?
Major standing in with MIBR.
Yeah.
Simple. He's going to take down Kerrigan. That's pretty much it. That was Atlanta, not Boston as well, so that is quite a while. Rain dodging 2 flashes. Unfortunately, Nico's been taken down through the smoke. There's a bit of a boost, I think, that let him see the angle, but it's Rain to find 2 more. They chase him down. He's got a chance to try and reload, but he stays to the pistol, and it's Electronic that finds the headshot instead. Watch the flank. If they wanted to fall back with bomb, Olaf's already on the case. Simple's going to run toward him. They both made a little bit of noise. I don't think Simple was aware, but look at that reaction. It's a one-on-one. Olaf gets absolutely destroyed, but Guardian is on the move, and Simple's not yet on the site.
This is exciting. Former teammates, Guardian and Simple, going up against it now. We'll see what they can do. Simple, 1 versus 1, AK-47 in hand. Flashbang available on Guardian, sneaks his way through.
It's a good way to look at it, to show the setup, because Simple was certainly committed to thinking it would be Library. Guardian is already around the corner and clearing the site. He's been so quiet, so patient. And he might just get on this. He will. He can hold this. I don't know that Simple's going to get there in time. He's going to run it now. He will. Just barely with the headshots. All controlled. Seemed crazy to me. Seemed fine to Simple. It's Na'Vi with their first of the second half.
Kind of stepped up there. They weren't teammates, were they? Guardian left for Simple.
That's right.
So forget that line. Take that out of the edit.
No, take that back. Sorry, they were. No, you're right. Zeus left for Gambit. That's what brought Simple in.
That was fine then.
And they were teammates. And there
I
was
got myself confused.
Yeah, you confused me as well. There's some animosity between them. I remember, I think it was a Reflections maybe that Guardian did with Thorin. And he asked him straight up, is Simple a good teammate? And he kind of dodged around it a little bit.
That was before good Simple, you know, that before he had reform.
I just think that it was a lot for Guardian to deal with, having someone else who could primary op on the team and was demanding and using it.
Sure. Oh, that feels like so long ago.
Ages ago. That was, they won New York 2016, and then it was all downhill.
That's exactly what
there.
I was thinking of, yeah, okay. So I knew I was onto something. But there we go. It will be FaZe Clan still trailing at this point. It's going to be the first round of the ball for Na'Vi, as we'll see Nico challenging towards Zeus here. UMPs are out on the CT side. Guardian still has got the AWP, of course. Let's see now if this opening pick will come. You feel like Guardian's going to nail that shot. Zeus, it's a very common angle. You need to be flashing that angle first, really, before you can challenge that, especially with the likes of Guardian on the server. And now, 1 minute remaining. What's the play here? How do they recover this? The money's going to be bare bones on the Na'Vi side.
Nico has to back away ever so slightly, but you're right. The money's the issue now for Na'Vi if FaZe pull this back. To note as well, if it is really going to be Na'Vi versus Cloud9, those two teams with 6 points, Cloud9's currently up 9-7 over on IP, although they have just lost the second half pistol.
Oh, really?
It's FaZe that's making a comeback against Na'Vi, and the winner would get to 9 points.
When we get a chance, I want to talk about NIP a little bit more, but this is just heating up. Carrigan, great job there with the UMP. It's Simple, though, alive again with Electronic. We know this is a deadly combo, but so is Nico and Rain, who sit there on the bomb site right now. It's going to be Nico who finishes things off. Great stuff by him. Seems to be playing strong here. If you are just joining us, and this looks like a fantastic picture, which it is, remember, FaZe have had a horrible run in this tournament so far. 0-2 yesterday. They got a draw just now against MIPR, and now trading against Na'Vi. It's almost impossible to imagine a world where they get to the final. I'm not even sure statistically it's possible. As we're still seeing them fighting admirably, though. I'll say that much. They are playing a very good CT side. You can see Nico playing with his heart and soul there. There's Carrigan. Great job with the UMP in the previous round. Trying to gun for that third place at least.
Interestingly, as well for Cloud9, Refresh leads the way for frags.
What a tournament he's having. You know, like, they might not win this tournament, they might not make it to the final, but in terms of him making a showcase for himself, that's fantastic. He's never played at this level before. He's played DreamHack Opens, that's it. And doing a great job.
A new young talent for Denmark, as if they didn't have enough.
Exactly, right. I got to interview him yesterday as well, and he's a very humble guy. He said, I don't even know what my role is in teams. I'm still learning how to play the game, right? And that's a very honest and humble answer. Most young, upcoming stars be like, no, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do this. He can be molded into something brilliant with the right leader above him, I think.
He's got a great bunch of mentors in front of him in Denmark, that's for sure. Most depth in CS, hands down right now. Sweden's definitely fallen off in that regard.
So is France.
France is... Okay, yes, France has fallen off overall in performance, but I think the young talent is where the future is.
That's true.
Them.
Yeah.
I think they've got to start to realize that. I think they are. I think they're getting to that point now. Vitality looks to be the best French team currently.
LDRC had that little flash in the pan, but
Pro League. Chicago, sorry.
That was about it. There's been nothing of interest since then, unfortunately. That was such a great tournament for them.
That's sort of the problem with teams of that caliber, though, is that you don't get to see them enough. They don't get to make it to the big events enough.
Yes.
So that's just a...
Well, they went to some DreamHack Opens after that, and they came dead last. Just like my point. So like we got very excited about that one tournament, then it has dropped off. So that's unfortunately, I think that was just a one-off maybe, but we'll see. French scene is always a bit of an enigma, and so is Simple, as he has the AWP here. They'll be looking towards B for any aggressive play. There is some from Carrigan here. If they could somehow Molotov him, that'd be fantastic. But how do they preempt this position? Well, just like that apparently, but Carrigan's going to spray 3 of them down, and Nico through the smoke will back him up. That was looking so good for Na'Vi. They even checked the position with the CZ.
Simple should have just taken the shot. And he's aware of it for Electronic smartly to get rid of the AWP. They've already got one on the CT side. Simple needed to fire through his teammate. I think he was a little worried that Carrigan wasn't going to be spotted. 4 kills on an MP9 for him. And as soon as he walked out, the smoke went down. Simple just hesitated, I think, on the play. I couldn't quite see his POV, but still, you're right. They wanted to check that corner. 11-10, and the money is not amazing for Na'Vi.
You know, I actually welcome FaZe winning this game just because it'll throw such a spanner in the works the leaderboard right now. Because you're right, Astralis Na'Vi is looking very likely at this point. If FaZe can win this one, all of a sudden that mixes everything up in that second place contention. That's going to be a really cool prospect if that happens. And we might have to get the old rulebook out, work all the things out, head-to-heads, round differences.
Well, it could come to that very much so. You wanted to talk about NIP.
Just because they are the team that's been on a great, gradual upward trajectory this year, right? They've got better and better. They're starting to get, they got grand finals here last time. They've started to get placements and playoffs and looking decent. This tournament, they didn't go to Pro League finals, right? They didn't have to go there. We thought this will be a great chance, and they didn't go to Chicago either, right? So we thought this would be a great chance for them to show us what they're made of and all the practice they've done and what they can bring to the table. Unfortunately, this is probably the most disappointing event of the year, just in the context of what we've seen in terms of success in the mid stages and towards the end. It was pretty abysmal at the beginning of the year, but just in context of what they've proven they can do, to see it drop off in this fashion, it's incredibly disappointing, I have to say. And we expect a bit more now, and it's going to leave a real bitter taste in the mouth to close out the year if it goes out just completely crashing out of this tournament, where they got to the grand finals last time in the same format. It's pretty much what I wanted to say.
No, I'm with you. I'm following the whole way through on that. I mean, I think it is a disappointment. Chad was early to call that they might even win this whole event. So
yeah.
They're the first team statistically eliminated, says, well, something.
He says something. I don't know. It's definitely a weird format in the sense of, like, so many best of ones. It's difficult to really gauge where everyone's at, but when you lose 3 of them in the row in convincing manner, that's worrying. But here we go. Raid with the M4. He's going to roast them alive in the apartments here. A kill comes in for Simple. That's probably all that happens at this point.
Interestingly, Rain didn't get any of them. Oh, I've got the ball. He stole them both times, but nonetheless, 11-11 FaZe back into it. Right, as Guardian on the AWP still carries that weapon forward and has one more in the bank as well. AK brought to the CT side. Double up. I think I saw a double up come out at the end as well, but Olaf in the pit rotates back in. Again, 3 kills for him. This is where now things get desperate for Na'Vi, and the pressure's on them because they know that they can win their way with today into the final. Double up indeed, Nico and Guardian.
See if it works out for them. Olaf Meister's been the one of the double up recently, to be fair. But Nico, bit of a dab hand with the weapon as well. Guardian does miss out on that shot on top of the pallet, gives him a deeper view into all those T-steps. Spotted the player, fortunately didn't quite connect the shot. And Zeus, that's incredibly brave to go for that smoke, but he's got a smoke on the other side, so I assume it was calculated. As Nico actually taken down, this push from Zeus works out perfectly.
On the edge of the smoke, not really sure what he was expecting with that one. Didn't catch Zeus pushing through, obviously, but Guardian now the only op left in the round. He's going to get one. Oh, I thought he would. Anticipating someone to be in that underpass position. Zeus is looking unbelievable. Yeah, running into the site and entering.
Great game from him.
2 kills already. He'll start to clear toward ruins. Now, the one problem with him being there is that the bomb is not. And him overcommitting to checking the back of the site now gives Rain a chance potentially to push back through the smoke. Doesn't need to because he's alone. He'll allow for rotations instead. Could try and time this with the bomb. That smoke's got a timer. He is going to go. Electronic knows he's there, swings back, but he found Edward as well, which gives us a chance. 3 on 2.
You can see Flamey's on the other side of the map as well, holding for rotation, so they don't have to worry about Banana whatsoever. I thought there was a chance the extra, a little bit misleading there. There could have been a shot, the smoke wasn't down, but of course it was. It's Guardian and Olaf Meister. The fact Guardian has the AWP in this retake, oh, is it even worth it? it's going to be an incredibly difficult round, and you can see his teammate Olaf actually holding towards top of middle, suggests they're not going for this at all. Looking for some exit kills here, and looks like that's all they'll get, but that's all about Zeus. Yes, a slight overcommitment on the third, perhaps, but they still win the round, so no harm, no foul there. In that respect, it's going to be 2 clean entries from him. Nice push with the smoke to find Nico. Olaf Meister taking down as many players as he possibly can. And there's a nice incendiary. Just to do some damage, they fall back towards CT. Or Banana, of course. We'll see which way they try and go. There's the damage being done. He's in the right of his screen. Simple Electronic takes some. I assume they'll still be fine. Taking a lot of bomb blast damage there. And Simple actually did go down. So there you go. He gets dropped, so that incendiary was worth it. And it's going to keep Na'Vi on a firm leash here.
Astralis have now just confirmed they have 12 points at 4-0. That guarantees them a position in the finals.
What a way to close out the year.
Incredible.
You can imagine if they win this as well.
It would be unbelievable. They are in. At this point in time, that means they beat MIBR, by the way. And that means they have only 1 win, sitting on 4 points, though, with 2 draws.
Here's a question for you, Matt.
2 losses, excuse me.
Out of all the teams we have here, you've got the leaderboard up there right now, right? Who could beat Astralis in the best-of-3 grand final? If you had to choose one of them, who would you select?
If I have to choose, okay.
Yeah, so not like who could get there, like where would you go?
MIBR plays them the closest, but I don't know how Swag's being implemented. They're playing a looser style. That's too much of a wild card for me. It's Na'Vi. Na'Vi's the only...
Has to be Na'Vi.
Yeah, it has to be Na'Vi.
Well, at this point, still Nico taking them down to open things up, but Zeus has been good on these trades. He gets dinked in the process, and that will invite Carrigan to get stuck in. But yes, I have to agree, it's going to be Na'Vi, and they're going to have to close this one out first before we can start talking about that. Guardian on the defense here, a little bit too fast for his own good, as he'll miss the shot, but Rain brings it back to the 2-on-2.
Rain nades toward the pits. That'll do
nothing.
No damage at all. All right, cool. Flamey somehow withstands the blast. It was a decent ways away from him, but who knows. Simple Molotov down to cover off quad side rotations. The smoke still in front of Library. This buys Na'Vi a ton of time, to the point in which there may be a decision made on the FaZe side that it's best to back away. Rain still considering it. There's a kit for Rain. I thought it was on Kerrigan's belt. It's on Rain's. Double smoke down pit. That's going to force Flamey's rotation, but Simple aware of it. Catches out Kerrigan, knowing he threw that from the front of Library. As Rain trades it, taps it. He could actually, with the kid, he could have held that, potentially, because Castle played, but he still gets it and knows Flamey had to work through the hole in the wall given the double smoke positioning. So it is going to be 12-12. And money is going to be tight on the Na'Vi side.
It should be almost broken. Remember, that came down to a 1 versus 1 essentially in the previous round. They had 3 players ready to survive. Guardian burnt 2 of them down to 50 health, meaning Simple dropped as well. So losing that round is quite the harsh reset. It was a 2 versus 1 there, and it looked like Simple had done enough on the site there, but still... Flamey, as you mentioned, baited out by the tap of the bomb, and Rain can defuse in the nick of time, and Simple knows that was such a huge round. I think he was just saying there, play for the bomb. You don't have to overcommit. You could see the bomb. I'm pretty sure he could from the broken wall, but he jumps out and offers himself up. And at that point, when you jump up, you've got a quarter of a second where you can't fire while you're getting up in that position, and it looked like Rain had full control of the situation as we tie things up once again. Remember, overtime is not a thing here in the Blast Pro series. You'll just get 1 point on the leaderboard, which would be fine for Na'Vi. It would do nothing for FaZe if it ends up as a draw.
So MIBR with 4 points will have to play Na'Vi in the final matchup. If Na'Vi are unsuccessful here, and then MIBR are able to beat them as well, they actually could still make the final.
Yeah.
Which is remarkable.
We've still liked it. It's always promising with the last round. Still has some weight to it. I remember last time we had a few games that meant almost nothing.
Yeah, no, but the last round, you're right, did matter there too as well, because MIBR was so close to not making it through on that occasion in Copenhagen. Keep in mind as well, the other statistic, or the other mathematic aspect of this is if FaZe win this game, and then they play up against NIP, if they're able to win that, they finish on 7. MIBR would finish on 7 if they beat Na'Vi. They would finish on 6, so it would be head-to-head between FaZe and MIBR to make the spot. So FaZe still have a chance. Nico's going to give them one in this round as well by taking out Simple, just pistols to play against.
And you say head-to-head. They actually had a draw, didn't they? So, there you go.
Round difference.
Round difference. It came down, that was 15-15.
The only thing that changes it all is if Na'Vi even accumulate 1 more point at this point in time.
There it is. Guardian taking down his former teammates. Like we said, it feels like such a long time ago where Guardian was playing in that Na'Vi jersey, but he was iconic in it. He had so many massive moments on the Na'Vi side. Now playing for FaZe, and they've got the lead here on Inferno. 13-12. Probably the best performance we've seen from FaZe this tournament. Na'Vi have had a struggle towards the tail end of the year. Not looking their best. Pro League Finals was abysmal at times. Really struggling against opponents they should be knocking out of the park. And we'll see a tactical timeout here as they work out their financial situation. Not looking too good at this point. Do they allow FaZe to run away with the round or go for another force? Time will tell. Got a few seconds to decide now.
So very tight game and so much to play for. 4 teams still in it with a shout. Na'Vi, Cloud9, MIBR, and FaZe to make that final spot of the playoffs. In many cases, they go head-to-head, as is the case here. And it's 1 round up on the CT side from FaZe, having a spectacular second half. Back underway with weapons in hand. Edward only limited to a Galil, so 2 with Zeus. Electronic, take it or leave it, is better or worse on a UMP. Certainly situational in that regard. Nico's got 17. Kerrigan leads the way at 18, believe it or not, but they're all from a spread on the FaZe side from 18 to 15 on the lowest case. Meanwhile, on Na'Vi's side, everyone's close. They're about, it's 20 to 12, but then Edward on 9 is still in single digits.
This is the all-in investment from Na'Vi. You see the Galils are out, the UMP. Simple has got the AK, but Zeus has dropped. He has had success at the banana area, but this time none at all. Kerrigan smites him down there with the Org, and it's going to be the 5 versus 4. Electronic getting tagged over those nades as well. So FaZe in a great position to get in touching distance to winning the map, and there'll be no money there at that point of 14-12. This is a do-or-die situation for Na'Vi. We'll see what they can do. Guardian, he's going to fire through eventually in this smoke. He knows there it is. There's a chance to play on the other side. It's always a bit of a gamble. This time it doesn't pay off, but they maintain the man advantage, and you can see they're going to try and boost behind that smoke. I don't think that's an option. It's a little bit too high. And it's too late. Goodness, that was close.
Very close. Yeah, that was a little bit too late on that smoke as well. The deeper one is going to push them up a bit. Guardian flashes out, hits the shin of Edward as soon as he peeks as well. The advantage firmly with FaZe at this point in the round as well. 34 seconds, man advantage. 2 players significantly hindered in their, I guess, health, their chances of getting the site aggressively, but not like that. Flamey got both, Rain and Guardian through the edge of the wall. It's now Olaf inside of the castle, Simple in front. Smoke down, he's very limited in how he can peek this, and he's gonna try and swing out and use the perimeter to his advantage, but the box and the plant is in accordance with that. Simple stays safe inside of the site, and Electronic goes hunting. Suddenly the tables have turned. We went from a 5-on-4 to a 2-on-3. Kerrigan gets Simple at the very least. Kits for both. Kits for just Nico.
He's going to have to go above and beyond here. 2 versus 1. They are low. Edward and Electronic hold the crossfire from the pit and the quad side. The bomb ticking at some pace now, well past the halfway point. First kill comes in, but that's how you trade out in CSGO. As soon as the attention's taken away, you use that opportunity, knowing that 90-degree swing from Nico is going to be an incredibly difficult shot. Edward punishes it and ties things up 13-13. Remember, that's a round they had UMPs and Galils and 1 AK, I believe. So that's huge for Na'Vi. Gets them right back in contention now for the map. It's Kerrigan. He got the first frag and then did damage that nade as well. But Flamey stole the show. You can see Rain didn't get the information. The Guardian wasn't really covering the arch in an efficient manner. He allowed someone to walk right up there, and Simple, that's all you want to see. The war cry from him. Olaf Meister left in that difficult position towards the pit, gets 1 kill, but that wasn't quite enough. And this time, a tactical timeout, I believe, again. It looks like we're discussing things.
He seems to be discussing them with Kane, perhaps even. He's turning around as if he's looking at the coach. Maybe we have a problem. He's looking at the admin. Hopefully that's not the case. They did reset the freeze time. Yeah, I think we might. Yeah, admin, please. Simple's calling for admin. I was judging by his body language in that camera. I thought perhaps he's got a problem. So we do have a technical at this point in time. Ah, okay. So that's, I was right. He was looking at the coach, and then he looked at the admin because the coach's mic wasn't working. So the technical timeout is as a result of the tactical timeout, which the coach couldn't talk. So that basically this will be a short fix. They just have to unmute the coach, make sure it's done right, and then they'll start off with their technical, or their tactical, excuse me.
Exactly. So that'll be Kane getting stuck in. He was part of the Gambit roster that won the major with Zeus. He was the coach of that team and was kind of a package deal.
Part of the big, I would say, the part of the reason that Zeus is back on Na'Vi as well, because Kane's contribution was questioned by the Gambit players, and they wanted to remove him.
Yeah.
And Zeus said, you remove him, you remove me. And that's how it all went down, I guess.
Here we are.
Here we are. We are here. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Well, looks like we might still have some issues here. I'm having a look at the the chat. Nico's asking, let's go. With a smiley face, he's polite. And it has been a while. If it's just a TeamSpeak issue, that should be relatively trivial. We'll see if they can work it out. Okay, they're still working on it. So, well, we've had lots of storylines going into this match. Plenty of them going on right now. I think because it's right at the end of the year, everyone's feeling a little bit nostalgic and kind of speculative as to what's going on in the future. We're seeing a lot of big names drop off, Matt. We're seeing a lot of new names emerge. And are you more excited about the young guns that are coming into this scene for 2019, or are you looking for more resurgence from maybe the French scene?
A guy like Refresh certainly excites me like crazy. A guy like Zawu in the French scene certainly excites me like crazy. I don't know where else there is talent to be found. I know North America's got a few more guys knocking on the door from MDL, but Peter brought up a good point about qualifications for the minors. North America just got surpassed by a South African team. There's a lot more Brazilian teams in this time, so arguably the team play in NA has kind of fallen off.
We're in such a weird space right now with CSGO. I think it's one of the most fascinating times in Counter-Strike history. Just the amount of talent we have, the amount of money, organizations, and still we can't quite get it right. The recipe's not quite there to give us the highest level of competition, but Edward's certainly displaying some of that with these shots. That's great. With the York, he jumps up on the log, this time successful, and manages to take down the first, and it's going to be a 5 versus 4 now, and Flaming will double down. Finding Rain. This is huge, actually. It's Guardian who has to recover the situation. He has got the AWP. Olofmeister, M4. Same story for Nico, but they are running out of utility. One smoke remaining and a couple of flashbangs.
Automatic stepping up big for Cloud9. Currently leads the win 25. They look like they've got the lead for now. Back to this game. It's Nico on 19, which is a bit of a problem considering they often like to anchor B alone with him. Olaf will sit by, and Guardian's going to go for the early rotation. So I think the point of this rotation is of two minds. The first and foremost is that if they're all there and they get it right, perfectly positioned, they've got a triangle that could cut off the plant, cut off the site. Secondly, they could rotate together in retaking and have strength in numbers based on timing, but third and probably most likely is that they'll just save at this point in time because there's not a lot of money, and Guardian has the AWP on this side of the map.
We'll see what the loss bonus is at. Matthew, please bring it up for me. It's not great. This could be second stage, so yes, they absolutely have to save at this point. 3 weapons, AWP for Guardian, Olaf with these M4s. They have got a little bit of kit as well, but this is Na'Vi now looking in an incredibly promising position because at this stage, you're going to have to force buy. You can't just say, we'll just get a couple of pistols to go with these. You're going to have to force around it and see what you can do. It's enough to win around, definitely, but you're not going to feel exactly comfortable.
Interestingly, based on the rate of fire and the recoil pattern, I thought that the Krieg would be more familiar and actually make more of an impact. It's the AUG of the two that's been, in my opinion, the game changer.
Yeah, sorry. Still recovering a little bit.
No, that's okay.
It's definitely been the main talking point. I think it works on more defensive because you're dictating the angles you hold at that point if you're on a CT side, right? T side, you can be surprised. You can have people jump out at you. It doesn't make as sense. But on the CT side, where you're choosing your position, you know what play style you want to present, I think it does make a lot of sense. And you can actually see on Inferno, let's talk about that, the coffins on CT side. That is wonderful with the AUG. If you're playing apartments, you can get a nice angle on the steps and look directly over and just get some pinpoint accuracy. So yes, definitely the AUG has had more purchases. I don't know the stats of that. I should probably, but we'll see. Carrigan pushing forward to all those logs. He's got a kill here, surely. Oh, we can see a little booty though.
I thought so.
And they're trying to take some down.
That was clear as day. Even without the X-ray, you can see the black contrast against the gray smoke.
Those big military boots sticking forward.
Need damage onto Electronic as he backs away, scurries. Take that back, excuse me, it's Zeus. I get slightly misled by that health bar being kind of in between the two names. It's Zeus that took the damage from that. He was standing right next to him, so he'll move forward. He's got the AUG carried over onto the T side. One of the only times in the game perhaps the Ts would want to take a weapon from the CTs. AK wins out over M4.
That's true.
Which is why I mentioned the point about AUG as well, because I'm seeing it a lot on the T side having impact in this game. We saw Edward last round toward Banana. He's got it again here in Boiler. One man down already on the FaZe side of the money as it is. Na'Vi could find at least a point from this game here and now. At 14-13.
Yes, you're absolutely right there. A point is everything at this stage. Just 1 point is enough to keep them in the conversation for the final. 2 obviously would be excellent. But here we go then. Olofmeister to defend. He's got that flashbang which he's deployed and might drop down to the pit at this point.
Olaf checking out from the castle position, has a smoke in front and was actually partially blinded, so couldn't peek even when they were advancing. Still finds one onto Edward though, because he Once inside of the site, just enough vision. Guardian backside. Oh my, he's quick. He's very quick. Zeus has to be very careful against that man in that situation. Flamey's going to find Nico. It's down to Rain, and it's going to be 15 Na'Vi. 1 point at least puts them on 7 points. Means they would be clear of FaZe no matter what. And I think, I'm just going to try and do some quick math. I think then it has to be Cloud9 to piece past them. They could still do.
Go on, Rain. He's giving it a go. And get the first, but it's not quite going to be enough. 15-13. Had to go for that really, Matt. Didn't really have a choice. You can see the money is wrecked at this point. Should be a win here for Na'Vi, but you're up against FaZe, some of the hardest hitting players in all of CSGO. They are going to bring out M4s for masses and the UMP. This is the moment where Electronic knew he had a free kill at that point. Unfortunately for Carrigan, didn't realize he was so exposed. Flame, I don't even know how he got that kill. Must have been a sound cue as Zeus finishes things off with a scrappy play on the bomb side. He took Guardian down and got the follow-up frag as well. Every frag counts, and you can see Simple really enjoying himself at this point. This should be where the game ends. As long as they don't make any mistakes or overcommitments, this should be it. But we will see if the UMPs can hold the wolf from the door.
Round 29 starts off
there
with
he is.
Simple. Impressively and explosively, he comes around the wall in Banana. Carrigan, he's still going to hold out on top of the ledge, I guess we'll call it, beneath the launch crates, high enough to be above Flames, low enough to get headshots when they walk in. Flamey gets Rain. 2 gone already. This could be it for Na'Vi to secure 3 more points, to find 9 in the table.
Could be it for FaZe as well in this tournament, to be honest.
It certainly would be at this point in time. If they don't get a single point here, they're out of it. So FaZe trying to do what they can to compensate, aren't having any luck. They're down to 2. Not a kill yet going their way. Olaf tries to flash himself back into the equation on quad, but there's 3 players down below. And Edward gets position first on the AUG. Electronic will close it out 16-13. Now the only team that could hit 9 points as well against Na'Vi.